Welcome back, everyone. I am your host and Dungeon Master Kyle, and as the dawn of a new day breaks, our heroes find themselves surrounded by uncertainty and reflection. Ari, Ortega, Parrish, Lady Tatiana, and Captain Talus finally stand together again, their unity tested, but their resolve unwavering. But first, as always, a recap of the previous session brought to us, this time, by Parrish.
I've always found that behind the oak planks of a bar is an excellent place to listen. Listen to the musicians performing, the troubles of your patrons, and the very heartbeat of a city. However, after the betrayer's rise, the only things I heard were the tense conversations of the people I awoke with in that wretched place, and the voices in my head. At least I won't be wanting for conversation with this group or alone. Ortega was the first to stop through the tap room for his dinner. I congratulated him for what seemed like a newfound peace or contentment that he found. He filled me in on how I had first met the party before, and how the party came together and made their way here. Felt it was necessary to tell Ortega I did not come back wholly the man they knew, but he assured me it would never come to him intervening. I believe he expected me to tell him to kill me if they ever let this new part of myself take control again. And I'm not sure I'll ever tell him that if it were to happen, I had intended to say, please take everyone and run. Through the floorboards in the hallway above the taps, I overheard Ari and Lady Tatiana. The short of it was, Tatiana is angry. Talus had betrayed her trust and stolen back the jewels. But something in her voice, truly, she sounded shaken from something else. Her father, a full vampire, had visited her, drawn her a bath of blood from some of the locals, and given a small gift which now sits upon her skin. Not quite sure the relationship, but that cannot have been easy for her. Ari gave her reassurances, ensuring she knew that beyond the bonds of danger and adventure, he considered her a friend. As they reached the bar, Ortega noticed what I had, probably more. When Lady Tatiana stormed off to her room, he moved to follow her, but stopped to thank Ari for having his head back on his shoulders. Together, they confirmed that this group would stay together. Even with the hurt feelings, the broken trust, the lost friends, we're stronger together. Ari turned to Parrish, walking out of the kitchen as Ortega left. Together they sat. They sat with the music they created. He introduced himself anew as Nocturne for the first time, asked if they could start over. With his help, I've realized that I'd rather serve food than queens or gods. I asked him then what he would do with his second chance. He said he'll move forward with the bandit broken, and he asked me to join them. And I felt I had to let him know that since I've come back, my heart hasn't beaten, and it didn't seem to bother him. He asked me what I saw in them, the group, and honestly, I don't know what to tell him. Maybe it's that they're some of the only people I've met as I am now. Maybe it's because I can see the goodness in them all. Maybe it's because I have no one else. Upstairs, I heard Ortega console Tatiana, assuring her that while her rage is wonderful and impressive, she should give Talus some slack and help her be the person we know that she can be. He confided in Tatiana that while he was in her body, the body of Talus, he heard the voice of an old woman in her head, and that maybe it isn't that she doesn't trust us. Maybe she just isn't sure how to balance that with other obligations. I had heard Talus leave earlier, through a window of her room. No, not where she went, but I'm glad she returned. She had the smell of the streets and the more foul part of town. Maybe something more foul than that hiding in the shadows. The tinge of an ethereal realm, and a dark presence that felt like a false smile, like a sharp knife held in the hand of someone you desperately wanted to trust. I have a feeling she found Io, and for that I am deeply thankful. Both of them deserve the chance to confront their loss outside of the moments that brought them. I asked her if she was okay, and honestly, I don't know if she lied to me. I asked her, honestly, what she had to do, what she needed to give up to help bring me back. She confided in me then that she got a favor from someone, and it made my stomach turn. Before she left for her room, Talus asked me how I could give up the certainty that came with worshipping the Raven Queen. I told her that nothing is without suffering, not that nor now. But I'm bound by fate or expectation. Everything good that I can bring into this world feels like mine. I wonder if she feels the same way, sailing on the open sea. The most honest thing I think she told me tonight is that she probably didn't learn what she needed to.
What lies ahead as they navigate through their tangled web of secrets? Join us as we delve deeper into the unknown, where every step could lead to revelation or to peril. The journey continues, and our heroes must face whatever comes next with courage and determination. You all find yourselves in your respective rooms, awakening after a very long and somewhat celebratory yet somber, reflective evening. What do you do?
Ortega's gonna sit up and stretch real big, and he's gonna look at Tati next to him and he goes, "Next time I'll rage." And he'll get up and start putting on his pants. I broke Ashley.
I'm 2 minutes into the game, not even.
Ari enjoyed having a 2-person room to himself. It's like when there's a mistake when they do dorm setups and one person ends up with a weirdly large room in the apartment.
Kind of going on, and he's feeling probably pretty bummed, generally speaking, but there is this desire to sort of move on. So his intention is to go downstairs and try and sort of like rally folk to be like, you know, we have these set leads to follow, and it would be probably good to like wrap up our business in town. So Ari's going to try and get downstairs early, and I will go and saddle up to the bar. I don't know if Parrish is already there or not.
Already there, breakfast served.
Fantastic. I slide up to Parrish. I enjoy the meal, thank him, and I wait for others to come down as well.
After Ortega's put his boots on, he's gonna walk to the door and then turn around and say, I know we said no strings, Tati, but I'm attached.
Well, it's no time we admitted that.
Now remember, you said you'd play nice, and Ortega's gonna walk out of the room. And I guess he's going
to quickly get ready and follow suit.
Well, Parrish will just make
Ortega's
sure.
gonna
Sorry, go ahead.
pat Ari on the shoulder as he joins him at the bar.
Don't touch me unless you have washed your hands.
I can't really feel this one, so it's hard to watch this one currently.
You smell like good times and bad choices. Now wash up and enjoy some eggs while they're warm.
You know, I fully intended to go to a bathhouse yesterday, and there wasn't enough time in a day. I may
That's
still be
fine.
covered in some blood.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Get your hand off my shoulder. Feel like I've communicated. Thank you. Okay, now go wash up and get eggs. I need to talk with you. I don't know if you have errands to run to this town, but we've already discussed that we're staying together. We think it's a good move. Now it's time to execute. We need to get moving. There's a lot of things that we can do, but we gotta make some choices or else I gotta go. I'm not staying here anymore. I'm heading in one direction or another, and I want all of us with me. And I'm no captain, and neither's Talus. So it's time to make choices as a group. And I want to be in the same team as you, so can we get this moving along?
Well, look who's finally coming around to the good side. We're a group, and we don't have a leader. I appreciate you admitting that. Now, I don't know why everybody's got Talus so uptight their buttholes that she's pissed everyone off, because no one will really tell me. But that's beside the point. Yes, I have errands. I'd love to chat.
I'll go with you. Trust me, bud. And he goes to put his hand on his shoulder and like stops and doesn't touch his shoulder because ick.
And that shoulder is currently still black.
Yeah, no, also, yeah, like there's layers of gross happening right now. Again, please go wash. But Ari will say to him, actually, no. Ari will say, let's go. And then point to the wash basin and stand there expectantly while tapping his foot in a rhythm that is bothersome.
Ortega kind of ignores Ari for a second, just to let him keep tapping in tune. And he's going to look over at Parrish and hopefully Tati if she's made her way out now. I've got an errand to run in town, and according to Ari, I need a bath. So it'd be awesome if you guys could figure out a way to get to Marquette.
I can take care of provisioning if you can give me some idea of where the hell Marquette is and how long it will take us.
I have no idea the answer to that question, Parrish.
I guess more.
I, like you, am not from this plane.
Well, I've been here long enough, I think, but, you know.
Maybe on our errands, we secure a map and a passage guide of some kind. I'm not saying a person, I'm just saying, like, we get the information we need. Or that's something that you guys can take care of while I run some errands with Ortega.
Do any of us know the way?
No.
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 All right, map it is.
Ortega will then make his way over to the wash basin to wash his hands. So that he can then pat Ari on the shoulder and say, all right, let's go.
In the interest of time. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, actually, Tatiana and Parrish, make a history check. Parrish, yours with disadvantage.
Ooh, I have advantage on history.
You do not have advantage on this because it has nothing to do with fae, fiends, or undead.
16.
A 7.
7. Okay, so collectively, so Parrish, you have heard of Marquette before. Something's ringing a bell. You know that At some point, there was a group of adventurers that went down there, but you never really kept up with it. Tatiana, you know where Marquette is. You've just never had a reason to go there. And also the same stuff still applies. Like, you know about the group of adventurers from there. You know that they were pretty famous, and you have some loose connections with some of them, very vague connections. But yeah, you do know that it's down there on the southern end of Tal'Dorei, but just never had a reason to go there.
Is there any chance that Ari, probably not. The Ready Room's like the only bar in town. I was wondering if there are other bards around that have maybe been better traveled that I could ask. I don't know, just something, but I don't think it makes sense if this doesn't seem to be a bardic destination town.
You can definitely make like an investigation check to see if you can see like people wearing maybe some outfits that look Marquesian. They might have,
or honestly, any other bardic looking person, anyone carrying an instrument case, I'm just going to see who's traveled around. So a 14, and it was an investigation check?
Yeah.
14.
I do know how to get there. I just have never had a reason to.
Well, with the roll that Ari got, you're looking around the room. You don't see really any of the other bards. You've seen like the traveling bands and stuff like that, and the troubadours that have been coming and going. But you don't see anybody who really fits the bill in terms of like a bard who might know the way. But you do see that.
Okay, so what did Ashley get then? It's like, sorry, I stepped on that without meaning to. What did Ashley get then? Because she rolled like a 15.
Well, that was just for like remembering that, like.
Oh, that was just for remembering. Okay, that wasn't an investigation. Oh, sorry, I thought I was stepping on your roll.
No.
Okay.
But you
anything else, or
you do see a familiar character who has been there the whole time, and you see the one person known as Question.
Shoot.
And based on your previous conversations with Question, you know that they are actually from Ankarel.
Do you guys mind if I took a moment to go talk to Question, and anyone will come with me if they want to, and I can see if I can get some information about our passage, ways to get there best, things to be aware of. I just wonder if we can get a bit more insight than a destination for the journey.
Why don't we let Parrish and Tati deal with that, and while we run our errands?
God, please don't.
I have my own errands to run around town. If whoever would like to talk to Question to get that information, go ahead. Ortega, I think we're a little strapped for time, so if you don't mind, and I will touch you and cast Prestidigitation to clean you.
There you go.
A little something I picked up from, let's call it negotiations last night.
I don't know why everyone's acting like you're so dirty.
Well, he isn't now. Anyways, I'm off to find a wagon, a mount, and provisions.
Okay, Parrish has got a wagon. Parrish has got provisions.
Ortega's going to quickly jump and grab one of the roof beams and do a few chin-ups just to get a slight sweat going before he walks in.
Get a quick pump in, You always do that. I'm going to go, unless there's something else that, like, I'm happy to chill out whenever. But I would like to speak to Question quickly before we leave for Ortega's errands. I'm like other people just.
Then I'll wait outside for you, Ari.
No, you keep pumping. You finish what you started. I'm gonna be as long as I can be. No, I won't be. I'll be waiting.
I'm gonna make all the girls jealous outside while I do my workout.
You have so many deep misunderstandings about so many things, purely demonstrating the difference between intelligence and wisdom. And so yeah, I'll pause there.
Okay.
Unless, Kyle, that's where you want to take it.
Yeah, I'm going to take it from here for a sec. So as Ortega is walking out, I guess Ortega and Parrish are walking out at this point. You see the two of you, for Parrish, you see somebody that you don't recognize. But Ortega, you recognize two people walking into the ready room, or coming close to it, as Io and Prolix Yusuf, which brings us to Talus. What are you doing?
Yeah, Talus, what are you doing?
Okay. I think Talus is gonna sneak downstairs so stealthily. You'll never see me coming. I'm gonna go down the stairs.
Perception check.
the middle of the day in a common stairwell.
Stealth check.
No.
I'm just imagining you here's the thing, right? I have one stairwell in my house, and I've seen my kids try and sneak down the stairs like it's a thing.
Sure,
and I'm hoping that's exactly what Talus is doing.
Interesting. So I did roll a natural 2 for a total of 5. It's a strong 5, like a sturdy 5, we'll say, just for context.
I love that she's wearing the gems that make you invisible, and yet she still chooses to stealth her way down the stairs terribly.
Her intelligence isn't the highest.
It's not. It's really not.
I mean, Tatiana, make your perception check. I know it's not a tough beat.
That's a 19. I saw you before you even came out of the room.
It's almost as if Tatiana had her eyes glued on those stairs, waiting for you to come down.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. So I think I'll just sneak downstairs. And at this point, so have people left the ready room at this point? Like, people have gone outside?
Ortega and Parrish basically just walked out the door, and you haven't, like, Io and Prolix have not come in yet.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm just gonna sneak downstairs.
Staring you
and then
down. Staring.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go to the bar and get a hot drink for breakfast, and then I'm gonna kind of circle around, kind of busying myself, like, oh, maybe I'm doing a little something over here, and then I'm gonna kind of walk over to Tatiana. Good morning.
Is it a good morning? Did you sleep well? Have a nice walk last night? Find anything, maybe?
I mean, I don't have to tell you what happened last night. I think it's pretty clear.
No, you're right. It's very clear. And you are very lucky. I agreed to play nice. And I'm gonna walk over to Ari and sit in front of Question. So, Marquette, how do we get there?
We do have questions. I feel like, and I cast a quick look over my shoulder. Not like we have a captain. I'm just trying to find our way there.
Well,
He says it just loud enough to be kind of a prick, just enough for Talus to hear.
Well, good morning.
Sorry.
Interested in wondering why you are interested in Marquette, or why the sudden change after returning from Betrayer's Rise.
Heard it's fun, and I feel like a bunch of it might not be any of your business. Tatiana, am I reading it wrong? Did I say something about this was his business? Did I misread the situation?
Actually, it is my business.
No, I didn't. No. She's pretty sure that I didn't misread the situation. So why don't you clarify why it's your business, or maybe we can just have a friendly conversation that doesn't involve me giving personal details.
Well, I am the one who told you to go to the Betrayer's Rise after all, and you've since returned, so I'm assuming what you've learned in the Betrayer's Rise has something to do with Marquette.
You would be correct in assuming that. And I gotta say, given what we experienced there, I could have used a bit more information than what you gave us. I'm not sure exactly how much you know, but that place sucked.
Well, of course, it's ancient.
Ageist, but you're not wrong.
But tell me about the jewels. Did you learn anything more about the jewels? And he actually looks over to Talus.
Tell you what, you tell us how to get to Marquette, and then you can ask her about the jewels, because she clearly knows more about them than I do.
Seems like fair terms, Question. And if you have questions, give us something worth the answer. Give us the information. I'm looking for a way to get to Marquette. I'm looking for safe ways to get to Marquette. I'm looking for things that people should know if they're trying to get to Marquette. And if you've been there and have knowledge, consider me in need of a crash course.
Wow.
Help me and we'll make it worth your while. Don't help me, and I find myself impatient with you in a way that makes her thirsty.
Well, if you just give me a moment to finish, I can give you what you seek. It's actually not difficult. In fact, my associate, Prolix, should be entering the room soon. Yes, there he is. If you'd give us any information about the Jewel of Three Pairs and what Alicia was interested in. As we know that she has left. She's no longer here. We assume she went back to Ankarel, but Yusuf and myself, we have a way to get us all there without any harm, foul, or time.
I can promise you one thing. She, Alicia, is as good as dead.
She's very much alive right now, so I don't think she's...
Oh, not if we meet her again. There's quite a few of us who would like to repay a debt.
I should give me a moment with my associate, and I bring Tatiana over to where Talus is. And I gather the three of us there for a moment and look up at Talus glaringly. You actually seem to be our key piece of information to get a good bit of passage and a way out of here that might be better than any ship or form of travel that we already can't afford. Now, how about we put our differences aside? You consider being a team player. Tatiana, am I off base?
I don't think you are.
Sounds good. You coming with us for this conversation to talk about the jewels?
Yes, of course.
No, I'm talking to Talus. We're over gathered.
I was like, oh.
No, we're I'm talking to Talus.
He's listening.
Oh yeah, no, it's...
You need me to do?
Answer whatever questions he has about those damn jewels you care about so much, so we can get passage to Marquette and be on our way.
Don't offer him more information than what he's asking for. I'm saying this quietly, close to her. Heaven forbid you start sharing now. And I start walking her over.
That Ari and I are going to be besties.
Do you know what's fun? Mean Cop and Mean Cop.
Oh my god, that's so fun. I love that.
I'm so sorry. Dallas, I'm so sorry, man.
I love you.
Yeah, mean and angry for sure.
Yeah, I'll follow you. And so we sit down with the question, and I just lean back and I just look at Talus.
My boots are going on the table, like always.
Ari's a little bummed that she beat him 2 boots on the table, so instead he starts to sit forward again as he realizes that was a bad posture choice.
Well, do make yourselves at home, I suppose. As long as there's room for prolix, they're gonna want to know everything. So, Talus, what did we learn about the Jewel of Three Prayers?
I mean, I think we learned that it has a couple different states or forms. And, there's sort of a difficult situation going on right now where there's like a specter or a ghost, and that's sort of interesting. But, it got pretty crazy in there. I don't know if I fully know everything about these jewels, but I do know that we probably want to go to Marquette. And I'm sorry, question.
Answer.
Could you remind me what exactly your interest in these jewels are? Because I was under the impression that you were more interested in the city of Bazzoxan itself.
Well, you're not wrong. I was following the leads that led us to believe that there was information in Bazzoxan and the Betrayer's Rise specifically regarding the Jewel of Three Prayers, or at least a vestige of divergence, which clearly our findings of the Cobalt Soul were not dumbfounded. Now, you mentioned something earlier about a specter. What are you talking about?
So I could speak on it a little bit. I don't know if my associates here want to jump in at all, but I mean, we have seen some images of a person sometime, sort of.
I don't have the description in front of me, but Ari at this point would transmit the information he knows. Kyle, I'm kind of hoping that you can kind of summarize, roughly what Ari would say to this. And he's saying it to question while looking at Talus.
And did this expect to give a name?
He did. It's been Alicia, right?
Alexian. And you see for a second that like it almost looks like he's taking like a mental history check for a second. Oh, I recognize the name. There was something about being an old champion. Vandra, perhaps?
Right.
Yes, fascinating.
Another champion of Avandra. Can't get enough of these, it seems. Anything else we should know about their story, considering what we've heard and what we've shared with you? It was kind of a harrowing experience. The knowledge we're giving you almost cost us our lives. Anything you could potentially share would be real appreciated.
Well, I hate to say it, unfortunately, I don't have any additional information. That isn't to say that it cannot be accessed at the Cobalt Soul. Speaking of which, was Alicia alone? She was acting kind of odd before. She had brought in other members of the Cobalt Soul with her initially, and I just don't know what happened to them.
I don't recall from the game, I'm sorry. Sorry, meta, but like I don't recall.
He was with the other party when we saw her.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. I'm not saying anything.
It would be at this time that like he notices Ao, and he goes, "Oh, Ao, we talked briefly before you left. Is everything okay? Where's the rest of your party?" And Ao just looks off, looks at Talus. Well, one of them is dead. The other one is at the hospital, getting health potions, and the other two, I don't really care. But I'm here. And, well, there were other members of the Cobalt Soul she'd brought. They are not with us either. So I'm very sorry that has happened. I do not believe that she was a good person, truly. And you were all fooled. Question just nods his head. Prolix looks over at his friend. It appears that we're going home a little bit early. I do hope that you have enough left on that tablet of yours to get us anyone who needs to go to Ankara.
Sorry to jump in here, Al. Did Ao go inside already too?
Yes, Ao would have gone inside.
Miss Ortega being outside would have spoken with her. That's all.
Well, we can get to that in a second. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
You do see Prolix, open up his satchel, and he pulls out a tablet. And you haven't seen this before, but it looks very much like it has scrolls inscribed onto it, almost as if it's like almost like it's a wizard book, but it's not a book. It's literally just a stone tablet, and there are wizard-like runes etched all across, and they are glowing with a whitish blue, almost a silvery hue. And he looks at Question and nods. Yeah, oh yes, I can get us all that. Shouldn't be a problem. We just have to, be really close.
Sorry, Kyle, this is like way more important.
Yeah, 1000%.
Oh my gosh. So true. Tell us.
There be children on the camera. Yes, there be. What can you do? We can cut this out.
Alright guys, I was trying to start a movie for them, and they saw it as a chance to come and harass all of you.
No, they were just saying hello. It's all good.
Okay.
So, seeing that we have this path forward, like to transport, it seems, I'll look at the two of them and be like, there are errands to run for some of us. We have to close some business in town. You two do what you will. Tatiana, I'm going with Ortega. If you'd like to discuss something with me, you're welcome to join us. Look over at Talent. What are you doing?
I don't know. I will make myself busy, I suppose.
Have fun. And he walks out.
Okay. Ortega, you and Parrish are heading out to do your errands, and you see at this point, this is when Io would be approaching.
Ortega would immediately stop doing push-ups and meet Ao as she approaches the ready room. He would fall down on one knee.
Hello. Hi.
I beg your forgiveness. I'm sorry I couldn't get back out.
Oh, in all of the kerfuffle, the hustle and the bustle, I never really blamed you. I appreciate your apology, but you didn't need to apologize.
If not for that, then the misery of an attempt to try and get you out, knowing that it was very unlikely to get back out.
Well, again, apology not needed, but I appreciate it and you are forgiven. I've come to realize that if you had at least tried to get me out, more of us than just Maggie wouldn't have made it out.
What matters is that she didn't get out.
Well, 3 of her fingers did, and that's got to amount to something. I got to keep high hopes, at least for those those that could help. So, I mean, I've seen crazier, stranger things happen. But yeah, I met up.
I'm glad your spirits are high.
Well, believe me, they're not high. But I did meet up with Prolix, and he did tell me that, there are maybe some potential help in Marquette that could, take care of it. So I was going to stick with him, at least for the time being, because he seems like he knows what he's doing. So.
Well, I appreciate that. I will give you the heads up that both Ari and Talus are inside.
Oh, that's. I kind of expected it anyways, but we're here to.
If you could tell Ari to hurry up, that would be great. And my bag's actually just inside the door. I'm gonna need that. If he could bring that along, that would be swell.
Oh, sure. That's fine, I guess. Anyways.
Again, I'm real sorry. As she probably notices a couple of tears streaming down Ortega's face as he will just pat her on the shoulder and kind of walk away and do a big old sniff, trying to hold back them tears.
When you get up from being on one knee, she does, you're almost still the same height as her. She bends down slightly. She notices that you have the tears, and she just puts a hand up and wipes away the tear, and in the same motion she just kind of leans in and gives you a quick hug, and she says, well, don't cry because they're gone and you've made mistakes. Smile because you remembered them and you learned. And then she walks in.
Ortega's gonna scratch his head after she walks in and go, I didn't make any mistakes in there. It wasn't my fault that she died. He is just completely and utterly confused at her statement.
It's fine. So Ortega, you head off with Parrish to do your errands, I'm assuming?
I have to wait for Ari, who's taken forever.
You know what, man? I've already had a lot of dialogue this session. Why don't you two go and you and I can catch up on the boat, or next session, or later or something. Let's tag out. Let's tag out a bit.
Well, in that case, Ortega will quickly open the door, grab his bag, and fetch back up Parrish.
He does hear Ari quickly shout out, "Yeah, that's right. Get your own bag, Dick." But he says it with a big smile on his face, like a friendly, I'm not carrying your bag.
Where do you need to go, Parrish?
I think that I can get everything I need either between the ready room or the rest of the market. The one thing I'm concerned about is horses.
Horses?
Well, long journey. Do you plan on doing it on foot? Plus, be good to have.
No horses, Parrish.
Sorry, I hate to interrupt, guys. I'm really sorry. But because we've established this alternative method of getting there.
Oh, Parrish doesn't know about that.
And the crew, we knew that you were going to get horses. Wouldn't we?
I'll talk him out of it, don't worry.
No, probably not.
Actually, no, probably not.
Yeah, no, it's true. Ortega and Parrish don't know about the other transportation right now.
Sorry, guys. Bye.
So, no offense, Parrish. I've never ridden a horse. I have no intentions of ever starting.
Have you ridden in a wagon? Are they often drawn by things other than horses? Carriage?
You know what? I honestly don't think I've ever been in a wagon, even as a kid.
You and Ari had taken a wagon up from the City of Beasts to Jacob.
He walked.
Well, you may have walked, but Ari definitely took a carriage.
I don't walk, man.
Being on a boat scares me more than just about anything in the world. There's a lack of being able to control what's going on around here that I just just really don't like.
Well, Ortega, we're all on the seas of some sort, but if you feel more comfortable with your feet under the or over the earth, that's fine by me. I'll gather the provisions and hold off on the carriage, wagon, and horses for now. Though, if I'm speaking on...
Have you ever done any smithing?
Yes, though I don't know if I have retained that skill set. But if there's any help I can offer, I'd be happy to stop by the forge after.
Sure. While you're at the provisions store, could you get me about a yay-sized wooden billet?
Piece of wood, got it.
I appreciate it.
Sure. Is there anything else you'd like while I'm there?
Nope.
All right.
Actually, yeah, I'll hand you 10 gold and ask you for actually, I'll probably find it at the smithy more than there, but just in case, I want like just a small bar of silver.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
I'll keep my eye out. And honestly.
I'll be working at the smithy, so just put on something to work in so you don't get your stuff all burned.
Well, if you're forgetting, and I'll step in a puddle, then press digitation it away. If I'm being honest, though, I was really looking forward to those horses.
I'm sorry that my fingers get in the way of your horses.
And I'll carry on to the market.
And Ortega will make his way to the smithy.
Okay. So it's not difficult to go to the market. It's at this point that like Parrish, you would run into Dermot, who also kind of went to the market to get health potions. And in terms of provisions, you don't find what Ortega was looking for. You found a piece of wood and a rock, but it wasn't silver, and the wood did not look like a quote-unquote yay-size wooden billet. It was a stick. It looked like it was a staff, like a walking staff, and that was all you can find. And so in terms of like resupplying for provisions, we're just doing the standard whatever it is in the book for provisions.
I had already picked up a crap ton of days for us. I think I had 20 going into the Betrayer's Rise, and I think we used maybe 5. I will buy the walking stick for Ortega, especially if it is Ortega-sized.
It's tall.
And man likes walking. And I will also pick up a smith's kit for him.
Okay.
Along with, I will send you the shopping list. I don't think anything will be hard to get. It's like, you saved me a lot of money not getting 4 draft horses, a carriage, and that stuff.
Yeah, that would have been pricey. I'm not sure what your wage is being a cook all the time, but evidently cooks would be kings.
But I am going to, I'm going to hold off on that.
Okay. You do notice that the stick costs a little bit more.
How much?
It is... Let me just check it here real quick. I gotta remember what the item is.
It's a magic stick.
It is a magic stick. It is a magic stick.
Marleman's walking stick.
It is not the hither staff. No, it's not. They do ask for 150 gold pieces for it.
Well, as nice a stick as this is, I will inspect it further to see if I am being particularly conned, or it's just a very nice stick.
Yeah, so you can take a look at it. It is, upon further inspection, make an Arcana check, actually.
Got proficiency.
Yeah, you do.
That is a nat 20 for 24.
So you take a look at this stick, and you're noticing that it is not just a regular walking stick. In fact, it seems to have a face engraved on the top of the stick, with what looks like grass or leaves or something rooting out on top to almost make it look like it's a head. The wood itself looks like it's got this ancient ant hat-like face with a beard that kind of drapes down that makes more of the shape of the staff. It looks like it could break easy, so you get the notion that it's probably not meant for battle, but it could have other purposes.
Damn, I was definitely going to tell Ortega to use that as the shaft of the axe he's making. No indication on what sort of spells it might contain?
It seems to have some form of druidic magic to it. Maybe not so much magic that you're familiar with. Actually, yeah, you probably wouldn't really know much about this kind of magic, but you do get the idea that it is more nature in its abilities.
Well, I'm not buying horses, so I guess I'll buy this staff.
Okay, you buy the staff. I will.
Correction. You're not buying horses yet.
True.
Yeah. I will add it to your inventory. I have to actually make it. I have it on my Instagram. It's fine.
Sure. Sounds good. And yeah, I'll send you the rest of the gets.
It's quite a deal, actually. I'm giving it to you cheap.
I feel like we're gonna probably have to like do some splitsies for Lee. He's not like the roommate with the trust fund. Like he's we gotta respect the fact that he's doing all of the shopping for us.
Oh, I had with the horses budgeted out, leaving myself 5 silver.
Oh, buddy. This guy's very kind, and we might need to save him from himself.
I can melt down that silver.
Why would that be a solution? More for you. Would have had a horse.
I need silver.
Glue. Figure it out there.
Oh my god.
I did ask for a little silver bar.
5 silver left. That's all the money you have in the world. I did ask for a silver bar, so
Super awkward.
if you want, we can still go on that walk. If you like, I know that you would want to do some RPing because there's time and people have had to do what they need to do.
So Ortega, when he gets to the smithies, is going to politely ask the gentleman for his metal billet that he had asked for that was made out of his armor. So it's just a square little block of his armor that is now in a very iron red silver Damascus pattern, and he's going to head over to an anvil and he's going to start forging it into the head of an axe. And while he does that, he is going to look around to see if he can find any wood billets or already made axe handles that he could do if Parrish comes up empty with no billet. And maybe enough time passed by where Parrish was inspecting a magic stick or something. He had a little extra time, so he takes 10 silver pieces out of his pouch. He'll melt them down and put them along the edge of the blade and grind it down to make a silvered head of an axe. And then when Parrish shows up, he's just going to have it sitting on the anvil and say, "What do you think?"
I think that this town wants for properly sized wooden billets. Managed to get everything else though, and I picked up a little something if you wanted to keep on forging. And I will hand you the smith's tools.
Ortega is going to look at the tools he is using and then look at his pouch or his bag and go, "Well, those ones look newer, so I'll keep yours."
Did you already have a set?
Yeah.
Oh well. Always good to have a backup, I suppose.
And he will then approach the head smithy here and ask where he could either A, find a wooden billet or a handle for an axe without having to go back into the wastes and find a tree, because he doesn't want to do that. Parrish, last night you told me a little bit about the man in your head. I'd like to take a little time to tell you about where I come from. And Ortega will tell him the story of his village and the girl in the woods and the deal that was made and the shame he lives with every day from the consequences of his actions.
Well,
and why he is forever not wanting to stay still.
Parrish will sit quietly, listening attentively, wait for a good half minute after Ortega's done. Just make sure he doesn't have anything else to say. That's a really hard thing to carry with yourself. You're certainly one of the strongest people I've met so far. I don't just mean that you can get bigger. I really hope that really hope that you can find a place that's home that doesn't keep you on the move. If that's something you're looking for at some point.
I'm afraid if I stay still too long, Parrish, my past will find me. And then I will really have to pay my dues,
Well,
so to speak. And if it's not that, I'll just be summoned to do somebody else's dirty work.
I know a little bit about that. I hope that someday you can be free from that. That's what I meant by being able to stay still, like a home, if it's something you're looking for. I don't know if that means confronting that directly or coming to terms with the fact that you might always feel like it's looming.
I don't think there's a way to bring those people back, Parrish. That's the only way that I would die a happy man. And I would gladly give myself in exchange for all those lives I took.
Well,
But that's just not something that can happen.
no, I doubt it is. And I very much doubt giving up your life would do anything but add a body to the pile.
There was one point in my life where I thought that would make it easier, be better for the world. But I'm not on that world anymore. I'm here. And like it or not, I got friends now.
Easier? Probably. But you don't get to be as strong as you are by doing the easy things.
I can't look out for me anymore, but I can look out for others. And Ortega will earn the head of the axe to the spine, and you will see etched with a bit of silver is the word warden.
A fine
I can
name.
look out for others. That's what I'm good at.
Ortega, I know I haven't known you very long, but please trust me when I say I think you're strong enough to do both. And one day I hope that you feel strong enough to be happy in spite of not being able to make your past mistakes right.
Ortega will contemplate saying something, but he doesn't. He just kind of goes about scanning the room for a handle or something to put on this axe before giving up, unless he finds one.
It's a damn fine axe head. I'm sorry I didn't find a proper handle for you. I'm sure we will.
It's all right. I'm sure it's a long walk to Marquette. I'm sure we'll run into a tree or two.
Speaking of, if I get a wagon, are you offering to pull it for us?
No. Can't watch people's backs at the front.
And you're not reconsidering the horses?
Never.
Oh, let's go find you a stick.
Ortega, you do notice that he's got a stick like shoved into his back.
What about that stick?
Oh, this old thing?
Can I look at that?
Yeah. I
Might
picked
be
it
able
up.
to find a big enough. I might be able to find a big enough piece out of it to use.
Well, you're welcome to look it over, though I'd prefer you not take a carving knife to it just yet. It looks like it doesn't need any more whittling. I picked it up for probably too much money, and I was going to give it to you as a walking stick.
You were going to give me a walking stick.
You said you like walking.
Wait, I do like walking. It's good for the soul. It's good for the heart. Gives you time to think, repent, sulk. But boy, is that some good fine workmanship. I don't even think with my woodworking tools I could do something that good.
Well, that's what I thought as well, and you make a good point about walking. Here, it's yours. And as for spending too much money, you can't take it with you when you go, notwithstanding that I have once already.
Ortega will leave himself 5 gold in his little pouch, and he will just hand a slightly bigger pouch over to Parrish that contains 40 gold. He'll say, consider this a thank you. It's been a long time since someone bought me a gift.
Well, can't even buy a horse with this, but I'll make do. If you find a nice one. Anyway, I'm off to do one last lap at the town and see if there's any other supplies we need. See if I can't find you a better stick.
Ortega's going to ask the smithy if there's a woodworker in town.
He looks at you and he just like shakes his head. He's like, we import all our bowing and woodworking accessories from, well...
All right, new question. Do you have any already made axes that I can just take a handle off of?
Why don't you just take an axe? We have plenty of axes. Just take an axe. It's not difficult. Just take an axe. You've basically already paid for them, and you've done everything.
Ortega's gonna go and take the biggest axe, the biggest handled axe off the wall.
It would be a great axe. Yeah, there's a great axe hanging out.
Okay, he's looking for a battle axe size, but he is slightly larger than most people. But he's gonna
Barbarian Goldilocks.
he's going to take it, and he's just going to take the other axe head off to put his on.
Okay. You just
That's what
the great axe head just goes onto the ground because it's huge, and you put on this like little shrimpy thing.
It just looks like a big hatchet, really.
It's
just a wood cutting axe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, you can just add a basic axe back to your inventory. It's fine. He's not going to charge you for it because you have been doing the smithing for it. So he's just a little upset that you took his biggest piece of wood.
It's important after.
Does D&D Beyond have silver weapons on there?
No. Maybe. Well, no.
I'll see.
You can look. Yeah, I'm pretty sure maybe, but I doubt it. So, everyone is off doing their thing, just for the sake of time. Since you guys now have a way to get to Marquette. Let's just say that Ortega, Ari, and Parrish make their way back into the ready room, having gotten the supplies they've needed, minus a horse or two, and you see. Oh, I'm not even on the right page. You see Prolix Yusuf sitting there with Question, basically asking just trivial questions to Talus and Tatiana. And at this point, Prolix goes, since we're all going back to Marquette, I would love to introduce you all to my fellow peers, the Allegiance of Allsight. You've shown quite capable, and you might be of interest to some fellow people, and more specifically, they might also be able to help with, the other issues that you guys have told us about with the Jewel of Three Prayers, which honestly, I'm glad. So if we're all set and ready to go, I do have a question. Not this one. I mean, I have a literal question. Does your party call yourselves anything? Just when we get to our Marquette, they're gonna want to know, and it's easier than just using a single name as opposed to you and you and you and you and you and you and you. It's much easier, and you can introduce yourselves later. But if you have a name, it would be much easier.
Ari looks around, looks at Tatiana and Ortega and Paris and Talus a moment, and essentially says, I've never quite considered a name before, and I look over at Paris because I mentioned the name to him before in our last chat, and I kind of look to him for hoping he knows what I mean, and I look back at Talus without rage and without scorn, and for a moment Ari looks at her like he used to, and he says, "We're the banded broken, if anything."
The broken bandits. All right,
Not.
perfect.
No, close. No. I'm a sucker for accuracy. Gonna have to, no, pump the brakes. No. Appreciate it. Not a huge fan of typos. Banded broken has a better ring to it. So just make sure you get that part right there, Yoda, okay?
Okay, sure, yes. Sure. Are we all ready? Because at any point in time, we can go.
You ready?
Banded broken?
Banded broken.
All right, perfect. I will be sure to spread the word.
Yeah, make sure you describe them as being led by an incredibly handsome tiefling, reddish purple skin, striking jawline, voice like an angel who made bad choices.
Okay, sure. I will be sure to definitely include all of those things that you just said. Now, if we're all ready, I see that we have some other people joining us, some late attendees, and you all take a look, and it's the other part of the party of rivals. You see Irvin and Galcerad slowly sauntering their way in with Dermot as they all get together, and Io fills them in briefly on what's going on. Question and Prolix look at each other, and Question takes one of these tablets that he's, kind of over this time he's kind of split it apart. So he's made two. Okay, so question's going to go kind of close to the Cobalt Soul, and I'm going to go to the Allegiance of All Sight. I can take any of you, I can take none of you. It's up to you where we go, and I'm ready when you are. Just say the word and we can go.
Judging by what we know, by what Ari knows of the place, like, is there a space where I feel like we should, like my head tells me to go to the Cobalt Soul because it's like this big research library sort of thing, right?
Yep.
But is there like that's just meta? Like, is there like, would Ari know one of those locations might best serve us for our research purposes?
I mean, you have very good solid leads pertaining to both.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a dime or dozen either way. It's your pick as to where you guys want to start.
I look over to the team then, and I kind of make eye contact with everybody equally, and I say, two choices. Where do you want to go? What's the band's first stop?
Ortega looks up from emptying his bag as he's taking like a huge tent out of it and being like, yeah, I don't need this anymore. He's just shoving it off to the side, pulls out the mask. I can't trust nobody here not to put it on, so I better keep that and put it back in. Wait, we're leaving now, Ari?
Yeah, no, kind of the plan. Whole conversation going on over here, happening for a while now.
Hey,
yeah, no,
Parrish,
we're looking to.
I'm really glad you didn't
movie.
buy those horses.
Well, how was I to know we would get a free teleport to another continent?
Because if you had bought those horses and then tried to sell them back, that guy would have definitely undercut you.
Or you would have had a horse steak for a couple of weeks.
Ari sidles up
Why
next
didn't
to
you leave
Parrish.
with that?
Ari sidles up next to Parrish and says, it's been, I've got to say, transportation is quick, but I do miss a long ride. Next time we'll find some horses, okay? If you want.
Parrish will lean in to whisper to Ari and say, I'm sure they have plenty of horses where we're going.
Yeah, no, I'm saying.
Don't tell Ortega.
Yeah, no. You had to mention horse steak. I've been keeping that from him for so long. Anyways, it's fine. Let's just keep an eye out for him. He is hungry. We'll go for a ride soon.
Hey, by the way, good job securing the teleportation to where we need going. It'll save us a lot of time.
Fortune smiles. Look at all the people I've met. Now let's go. There's enough baggage here to keep us stuck for longer than we need to be and should be. And there's something else out there that's calling me and all of us. Generally, when something calls, it's more fun than holding still.
Oh, are we going now?
I'm kind of thinking so. Do you need a good night's sleep and tuck in, or you want to rock and roll?
No, I'm good to go. Just give me 1 minute and I will enter back into the bar, and 30 seconds to a minute later come back out with 2 full casks.
All right.
Oh, this man. Fantastic.
So, did we make the decision on where we're going? The Allegiance of All Sight or the Cobalt Soul?
Sorry, could you please say the first one again?
The Allegiance of All Sight, which is where Prolix is going, and the Cobalt Soul.
Does anyone have any thoughts? We'll have to go to both places. Where do we start first? And then we'll probably need to find arrangements and lodging and all that sort of stuff. Oddly enough, Parrish doesn't already have a job there. Unless he does, I wouldn't be surprised. But for now, Cobalt Soul, start with some reading in the shady library, or what do we think, guys? I don't have strong
Why don't
feelings.
we go to this Allegiance and see these people who may be able to help us? I'd much rather talk than read a book.
True. Plus, if what's his face, Prolixon or Prolapse or whatever he calls himself, he's going there first. We might be better served being a fly on the wall in his conversations than reading a book while they proceed. Maybe we go with him and see what he learns and be part of that deal. He does owe us the ride. Oh no, he doesn't. He already had that set up. Well, dang. Do you know what? We're intimidating and awesome, and we're just going to tag along and see what happens.
I think if
Prolix is the one that refused to help with the bodies and also didn't pay for his stuff.
and we did save his life, so he does owe us.
He owes you.
He does owe show us. Oh, well, fantastic then. It makes this a lot easier. Also, that guy sucks.
Yeah, I'm right here. I can hear you. Just so you know.
No, I know. I'm well aware it was an intentional choice. Shut up, we're not talking to you.
You know, I only really retain memories of pleasant experiences, people I enjoyed being with, and it might speak volumes that I don't remember a thing about either of them.
See? Telling.
Now,
Hey, Prolex, I think we're coming with you to start, unless I think that's a good path forward. Tatiana seems in. Ortega, buddy, want to go have a conversation, learn some stuff before we go book reading?
With who? Ari, I'm ready to get out of town.
We're all going together, man. We're don't even look over at Talus. We're not going anywhere. Not together. Or rather, sir, we're not going anywhere that isn't together. We are getting the hell out of here now.
Okay.
Ortega's going to look at Ari, and he's going to look at Tati. I go where Talus goes.
Well, then what do you think, Talus?
I mean, they all sound like a bunch of scholars to me, and I'm not really a huge fan of scholars, so it's pick one. Allegiance of all side aspire.
while it would be nice to have the information that we might get from this library, I don't think we can pass up the opportunity to be a part of whatever conversation goes on.
I agree.
Books stay put, people don't.
Agreed. We go with Rolex. Hey, Rolex, guess what? And I just sidle up next to him, and that's where I will put the scene.
Okay.
Man, it's like you guys all made the right choice. I didn't want to go anywhere with Question because I didn't like him from the second I laid eyes on him.
Well, if it's all,
I've never actually spoken a word to the man, I don't think, so
it's all the same.
I'm glad to continue that.
If everyone is going there, I might as well just save the trip and head there as well. So, Prolix, if you'll have me, I will also attend. Yes, of course. And you all, he kind of makes like a circle. You know, he like rearranges the entire ready room to basically like all the tables and now are like a circle around. And just remember, anything in this portal will come with us. So do try to not, sweep in, displace a beast or two, Anyways, he pulls out his tablet and he starts muttering this really weird Marquesian text. It's almost inaudible, but it sounds very very nasally in its phonetic. And the circle that he's created starts to glow with these Marquesian runes as the aura on these runes light up, and you guys see yourselves almost inside this large circular almost a room, and you feel as though this room starts to spin, but you stay still. Everything around you spins. It's almost like you're almost in a tornado, like in the middle of a tornado. You can't even see out as everything starts swirling around outside. You feel yourselves physically leave the presence of the ready room as you start to see this other very faintly on the other side of these runes. You start to see a vast desert as Bazozan leaves your view, and almost mountains seem to just flash by you, phase right through these mountains, oceans just right through. It's like you're not even on this plane of existence anymore. You still see it, the plane itself, the planet, as you start to slowly come up to another mountainous desert region as you shift over into the continent of Marquette. And the teleportation circle starts to slowly dissipate as this aura, this walled aura, starts to fade back into the runes on the ground. The chilly air and gloomy clouds of Bazzoxan are replaced by dry heat and a brilliant blue sky visible through the arched window of a magnificent building with walls of white marble. Beneath your feet is the teleportation circle from which the glow of magic is slowly subsiding. For all intents and purposes, you are now in the Crystal Chateau, more specifically, the teleportation atrium. And as everything subsides, Prolix Yusuf screams out and it goes, "Welcome, the bandits of Broken. Enjoy your time in Marquette. I feel like our time now is done. I will go see who I need to see and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye!" And he starts to slowly saunter off like he knows where he's going.
Ortega's going to quickly lean down to Ari and whisper in his ear, "Can I put this curse mask on this man?"
No. It feels like I haven't quite. Let me identify it first to find out exactly what it does. Does it make him tell the truth? Does it make him? We can do. I feel like this is a weird time to be a wild card, and I'm just going to bring him back in. And I say, listen, friend here wants to put an
Door's open.
mask on you. I don't even know what it does, and I know that you aren't really going to get a choice here. So, before you go for your breakfast conversation, you invite your new friends along. This is not a real choice. Mask or company?
Well, I am rather fond of masks, but I have a thing with people putting things on me. Fine. You're right. I probably should have been a little bit more responsible. I should probably show you where you need to go. Okay. I will.
You want to buy this mask off me?
No, I'm all right. Thank you. I also have no money. So, anyways, well.
So you'll bring us to your conversation.
Sure.
Who exactly are you going to go see? Or can you tell us a little bit about your plans there,
Well, I'm probably gonna go say hello to Alakritos.
What draws that person for your greatest day?
He's the headmaster. One of them.
Who wants to go meet with the headmaster? Sounds like a great place to go. Are you discussing anything in particular with him? Rolex, my clearly new friend who does not want to wear them.
Anything specific you should know? He's a goblin, I guess.
What are you chatting about with him?
I'm going to talk to him about a little bit about what happened with Alicia.
Good. I feel like that's a really helpful conversation, Paris, wouldn't you think? Handy to learn.
We might be able to provide some insight. Might be able to get some ourselves, if you don't mind making the introductions.
Of course he doesn't mind. Look how enthusiastic he is. He feels great about it, don't you? Don't you?
Yes, yes, of course. I feel fantastic about you broken bandits. It's great. I will tell them all about your endeavors, and I will hype you up, I should say. But you hype me.
First off, I do love the enthusiasm. Huge fan. Normally hyping is my job. And I put my gun gently to the base of his neck, and I say, it's the bandit broken, and you don't get another strike.
That's what I've been saying all along. The bandit broken. I don't understand what the mistakes are. Please lower the gun, and we will head on. Question.
Lowers it down.
Question, please. Question. Are you coming or going? It would be great to know what your plans are. Question is just standing there, just taking it all in. Question says, well, I am going to head to the Cobalt Soul. However, I have here a pair of sending stones. I will give one of the more responsible ones. One of them, he looks around and he hands it. He goes to hand it to Ari, just so that he lowers his. You got your hands full right now. So
Yep, I put my gun down.
He hands you with.
And I take the sending stone. I toss it to Ortega.
Okay.
Ortega, I'm hoping you can do a no-look catch.
Yeah, I'll roll for that.
Yeah. Go. Roll. Make a dexterity check. Okay, that's really what it is.
Because I am not exactly certain where you are. You are behind me. I really want this to look cool. Please roll well.
I'm just gonna roll a sleight of hand because that's the same. 13.
It's enough to catch it. It's enough to catch a rock.
It's enough to catch a rock. It's a little unexpected. Ortega, and then 1-2 and grabs it really quick.
Nice.
Question looks at you and he thanks Prolex. So I do have to thank all of you for your involvement in everything that happened down at Bazalzan, and only good things. Let's just only the good things. And you will be called upon in a few days via these sending stones. My superior, Iwo Zalar, will probably be the one to contact you through the stone. And I also here have this for you. And he pulls out of his pack a map of Ankarel, and he hands it to Ari. Please familiar yourselves out with the city. It is rather large. You will notice that there are different sections, spires. You will come to find pretty quickly that it's easy to traverse. And with all there is to say, carry on. Prolix will lead you to where you need to go, and I will hopefully see you again.
Question. I have one last question for you before before you leave?
Of course.
If one was trying to sell a magic item that may or may not harm someone, who would he sell it to make sure that it stays safe?
Well, it depends, really. Any one of the factions would probably be willing to take it in. Can't guarantee you'd make a pretty penny off of them, but look around long enough in the bazaar, or potentially... It's hard to say, because I'm assuming it's not an item of good origin, but you might find who you're looking for. Maybe, you know what? It's actually a really good question.
Yeah, you're not giving me any good answers.
Maybe he's actually.
I was kind of hoping it was as simple as like the Cobalt Soul would take it, so that people don't use it.
Well, I mean, the Cobalt Soul will take it. It's not that, again, like I said, it's not that we won't. It's more so that you might not just make money off of it.
Look, I don't need what it's worth. I just need something that convinces me to say, hey, you're the right person to look after.
Right. Well, if that's the case, the Cobalt Soul will be definitely very interested in taking it. But if you are genuinely curious, there might be another who would be willing to pay, but I can't guarantee that it would go to the right hands. You're going to want to look for a man named Old Man Crook. He's a baker. And, well, let's just say he's good at baking things. You do have to ask for a baker's dozen of Patsy pastries. He will know what you're talking about. But do not tell him that I sent you, and you did not know or gain any of this information from me. You simply asked the right questions. Without further ado, I shall carry on.
He just spent 2 minutes talking himself in circles to get to the answer. I hate that man.
Well, his name is question, not answer.
So, Prolix is reluctant at first, but leads you across the Sigil district. It features well-watered green grass and beautiful fig trees. There's dozens of buildings. And you arrive at the Terra's Schoolhouse, which is one of the 2 universities run by the Allegiance of Alsight in Ank'Harel. He guides you across the school campus and into one of the administrative buildings. It's a structure the size of a small house. The bottom half is the same brick that makes up many of the older buildings in the neighborhood, but halfway up the outside, the walls turn into delicate stonework, as if someone had built a new floor on top of an old foundation. Glittering spires of iron and crystal adorn its sloping roof, and silver lettering across the door reads, Headmaster Alakritos. We're here. So, I don't knock, typically, but I feel like there's a lot of you, and so maybe we should I'll go in first and just let them know that you're here, and...
No, we'll come right in with you. Maybe you should knock. It's extra polite.
Okay, yes. Okay, yes. Sure. So he knocks and boom, boom. Hello, Alakritos? And he knocks again. Oh, right. There's a thing. I have to... And he opens the door and he walks in.
I would like to scoot in right behind him.
You find yourself unable to get in.
Son of a bitch. Just me? Any of us?
The door is wide open, but you can't, you see nothing on the other side of the door.
Well, isn't he a cheeky bastard?
I'd like to roll an Arcana check, please.
Absolutely.
Or Tega would like to do the same thing. Oh, yeah,
Nice.
20 for 24. Tega hates magic. He hates it so much that he knows about it.
Yeah.
Wants to hate it properly.
Well, somehow miraculously, Ortega recognizes this magic as old elven in its fey origin. You realize that this was once a magnificent mansion that has been since converted into the headmaster's quarters. And with the magnificent mansion, only those who have access or have been granted access before are able to come in right away. It is about 2 minutes after that Prolix comes back he has tea in his hands, and he goes, that's why I was supposed to come in, and you are now free to come in. Enjoy, don't, tinker around or look around, but everything you need is here. And he looks to Parrish. He goes, are you still you? Because you're going to notice things radically differently when you're in there. And I've already been told by Alakritos that those who are hunted may have difficulty in getting in. And also you as well. And he points to Talus. Oh, and also you as well. And he points to Tatiana. And he looks at Ari and he goes, oh, good heavens. You too. Oh, my goodness. All right. And he looks at Ortega. Oh, you're fine. Well, yeah, fine-ish. All right, you should be. Oh, you know what? You'll be fine. Don't worry. Pretend I said nothing. And then he comes back inside.
I don't suppose we could have this introduction in the hallway.
He can't hear you. He walked into the building again. He wasn't even really paying. He was just kind of like ranting.
Good Lord, I hope he has the day he deserves.
You're about to walk into a magic mansion. We needed to be invited. That's why he could go in, and we couldn't.
I'm aware of the mechanics.
I
just find him deeply unpleasant.
Oh, no, he's the worst. But I understand some of what he said and why. Looking over to Talus, I've got questions for you. And I sure have questions for me as to why that might be a problem, but...
No, that checks out for me. Anyways.
Why am I the only one that... you know what? I'm going in first, because at least I can go in. And Ortega will walk, hoping that he doesn't walk face first into a door.
That would feel appropriate. We enter.
You enter.
Yeah, I feel like I'm walking into Kevin McAllister's house as a thief, but I'm going in.
He did so many crimes.
So many crimes.
He did. So you all walk in. You see you're met with a large room that's much bigger on the inside than it was on the outside. It almost makes no sense why it looks like it was built extra, but maybe it was just for the aesthetic. And there's a roaring fireplace off to your left and a large stone desk that takes up the entire lobby, and you see 2 stairwells leading up and around. You notice there's a long line of rooms jetting off behind the desk, and to the right of you looks to be a kitchen area, dining room, just a general living quarters. You get this sense that most of the business is conducted inside this main room, and everything else is just for the headmasters and the teachers and stuff like that. Prolix Yusuf is already at the fireplace holding his tea as Alakritos looks up over the desk, and you see kind of steps back down what looks to be stairs on the other side of the desk as the scullery mastermind goblin saunters over to you, passes right over everyone, and offers Talus a cup of tea.
You must be the one that I should talk to first, seeing as you are the one that has everything. Come on, come everyone, and enjoy the provisions. Anything you need is at your disposal. I will gladly answer any questions you may have, maybe about Ankorel or Marquette, or really almost anything that I can at least answer for you in regards to why you're here, or this enclave, or anything about what we do here, but all in due time. First, let's discuss those jewels. So please, join me by the fire and let us talk.
And that's where we're going to end it tonight. And so, our heroes, now known as the Band of Broken, have finally reached the grand city of Ankorel, the Jewel of Marquette. With new adventures awaiting and countless questions needing answers, their journey is far from over. I'm your host and Dungeon Master Kyle, and thank you all for joining us on this epic adventure. Special thank you to MAB Music for providing our wonderful background music, and of course, our deepest gratitude to all our listeners. Your support means everything to us. Stay tuned for more excitement, challenges, and discoveries in the next episode.